welcome back. It is the Dani Dot Podcast. I'm Dani, your professional overthinker turned reformed chill girl. Today I'm exposing a scam, and the scam is doing the most. Because guess what? In 2025, the real flex is doing less and getting more. More dates, more money, more peace, more life. So if you've ever found yourself spiraling over why you're not getting your text back from someone, why your bank account stays disgusting, or why you're constantly exhausted whilst everyone else seems effortlessly unbothered, this podcast is for you. Here's what we're going to do today. I'm breaking this episode down into 3 cozy parts on the topic above. Doing less in dating, doing less in your career and money moves, and doing less for your own peace and sanity. Of course, I'm going to throw in a whole bunch of stuff that's happened throughout the week. And of course, I'll end this episode with a bit of a win that might involve me cancelling plans over this past weekend and turning my phone notifications off. That was fun. So grab your coffee, put on something comfy, and let's get into why 2025 is a year we're clocking out of chaos. It's done. We're actually putting a tombstone on it and cashing in on ease and peace. Anyway, kicking things off, I didn't actually know this podcast was going to go ahead today. We are in the middle of a power cut. I was lucky because the power cut didn't really stretch to my house for that long. It was like a weird blip in the system. However, I had mum in the house, didn't I? And I thought, oh my gosh, I've made it this far and my mum hasn't heard or listened to me record a single pod, and now she's stuck here. Great. However, we clicked over to just recently, I think it was 1:30, and she managed to boost back to the office, which is, how should I say it, where she belongs for now. I genuinely thought that I was going to have to record this from my car, and I was like, can I trust her to be able to record this without her smiling or making some stupid remark and cracking me up and me losing my patience with her? Anyway, Posey's just ripped a peace lily off the stand and decided she was going to try and take it to pieces, so I just had to put her in her playpen. My kitten is a nightmare. She's going through this phase at the moment where everything's exciting and it's not exciting for me. If anyone has any ideas on how to get her to stay in the boundary of the house, that would be great, because I don't want her going near my neighbour. If she goes under that fence, she's gone for life. That neighbour is crazy and I don't want to have to bang on the door to get her to come back. But no, she is super cute and learning to stay on the bed at night, which is a win, honestly. I've even got a pet camera, and last night I think it went off about half a dozen times because she decided to go to the living room and play with all her toys. I think I should pack the toys away, but I just can't, I look at her and I think, oh God, I just can't do it. Anyway, we had a really exciting weekend just gone. It was all about sports. If you're very big on the whole NZ Open golf tournament thingy, it was at Michael Hill's golf course just outside of Arrowtown. I have so many memories in this golf course from 10 plus years ago when I used to work for Vodafone. I don't know how we got free tickets back then, but we did. And a friend of mine's mum passed away at the time of this golf thing 10 years ago, and we decided to support him. We drank a bottle of Grey Goose vodka and took ourselves to the golf, only for me to end up asleep under a tree and my boss taking me home. So there was that. But if you are familiar with the golf course, there is weird statues, or there was that long ago. And I just have photos that reappear every year on my Facebook of me climbing on these stupid statues and yee-hawing and everything else. I was such a pest. I was in my 20s, just really unbeknown to what golf, how, important golf was or anything like that. But no, it is really cool if you are interested. It's not just about the actual golf itself. The activities on the course are really fun and inviting. 10 years ago, there was a Good Bars Heineken bus, which you could sit on the roof and just drink Heineken and watch the best golf green, I suppose they always parked it on. I don't even remember. So really great memories of all that. But just recently, it's one of those things where you just, I don't know, go and enjoy it. It's a beautiful course if you get the opportunity to step foot on it. But on the Sunday, I managed to make my way down to Kingston, just outside of Queenstown. They had a Guinness Book of Records to how many Toyota Hiluxes they could get in a photo. It was quite cool. 1,400, I think, was the final number, or 1,440. It was weird because even though I spent the weekend doing all these random things, my mum was saying to me, there's a lot of single blokes at all these events, Dani, and you're just waltzing around. I was so unknown as to what I was intending on doing, honestly. Just living my best life, absolutely at peace with everything. I turned notifications off on my phone and decided, nah, I'm going to go and have a weekend and enjoy myself. And damn it, I did. I have no regrets. On the way back from Kingston, I popped into my new house in Hanley Farm, which is being built at the moment. The frames are up, so I could finally get a visual. There's nothing worse than only being able to see the section that you brought because it's a piece of dirt, but everyone else can see the vision except myself. It was really special because obviously, I don't know, I feel like it's a lot bigger than I thought it was, which is really nice. I do struggle with Hanley Farm just because I feel like the houses are on top of each other and the borders of the sections, there's just nothing to them. They're just all on top of each other. So to actually see there was a good boundary line, I got super excited, but more so because behind the kitchen in our house, I don't know if I really coasted over this, but we have a scullery, which is a room where they keep like appliances and condiments and all your kitchen stuff that you don't want to have in the actual kitchen itself. Only for myself, I got really excited and decided it was a cellar, like a wine cellar. So there's all these photos of me drinking a beer sitting on the floor of this potential cellar, even though Mum was like, that's not what it is. And from the living room down to the other end of the house, which is where the garage is, it's longer than 2 cricket pitches. So we were pretending to throw cricket balls down the hallway, and it actually went on forever. So if you can imagine, it is a 4-bedroom house with a 2-bedroom detached, oh no, it is attached by like a firewall, 2-bedroom apartment on it, which is really lovely. And I was thinking, oh my gosh, whoever's in that 2-bedroom is going to be like in our space and everything else. But once I was there and I actually saw it, I got so excited because it just didn't look like that. So yeah, happy days ahead. We're now up to the roof going on and picking out a front door colour, which again, I didn't think was a major. However, the builder gave us a brochure. It literally was 25, 30 examples of black to white of like grey. And I just thought, why aren't these like blues and yellows and everything else? But there is very strict regulations around the colourings in Hanley Farm. So unfortunately, I do feel like I'm losing out here with my door colour. But what we chose was really cool. Can't remember the name of it. But also the door design, obviously another weird thing that I didn't think I'd ever have to choose, but here we are. So I decided to be a little madam about it and be like, I can't choose, but no, I did go with one and that's all good. But yeah, apparently it goes really fast building and then it just knocks off and stops and slows down for a bit. So that's all good. We are 3 months out from getting the keys and making the move. I don't know what I'm doing at the moment. I'm still on the fence. I've been asked to do a few things. Quite frankly, all I want to do is actually pack up and go wandering the world, as I last dropped a bomb on you guys and told you I was intending on doing a solo adventure through to Florida. That is something I'm yet to pull the trigger on. Not that I won't do it, just that I was telling a few people and they were like, that's a bit excessive. Which I thought, wow, okay. What? I mean, my brain just goes from 0 to let's get the hell out of here and travel. So obviously it was never going to be just a flight to a destination. It was going to be exactly that, a solo adventure. And I saw so many opportunities with this idea. So anyway, I will get around to booking that. I'm just sort of on the fence with, there's a few things. I have a kitten at the moment. She is the priority. My mum is looking after her dad, who's poorly. Obviously, told you guys about that last pod. My brother is running the business at the moment. He is a really great asset. He's a builder, a plasterer, he does everything. And obviously, I am trying to juggle quite a few weird things at the moment. So I will stop and think and actually focus myself on what I want to do. It's just at the moment that seems like a really great idea to get myself over to the east side of America and go wandering through the Caribbean on a singles cruise. But yeah, other than that, it was a really cool weekend. The Warriors took on the Canberra Raiders in Las Vegas. We didn't come out on top, but once I got home after my big adventure of the weekend, just wandering around with my notifications on my phone turned off, I settled in with a beer and a bit of a snack plate, as I do. Hot girls, what do they call them? Hot girl charcuterie boards. I turned my notifications on and I was just happy, and I thought, wow, I'm actually going to do a podcast based on like just doing less in life and doing a whole lot more for your mental capacity. So kicking this off, it is doing less in dating. I want to talk really about pulling back on your energy makes your other half or your relations or friends or whatever. I know I say doing less in dating, but you know what I mean. Doing less in relationships, friendships. Why pulling back your energy makes other people lean in. You've just got to really be quite proactive that if you stop over-analyzing things and sending novels over text to literally friends, relations, whatever, and literally just vibing along, suddenly you're actually booked and busy with attention. It just happens. And I honestly don't know what it is, or what they call it something, what the balance is of why it happens. It's almost like it makes you attractive just to not care about something. And it's not that you're not caring, it's that you are just drawing more attention into yourself. So doing less in your relationships and your friendships make you not that overpowering partner or friend that is quite needy, but also if you are seen as doing something that's really attractive for whatever reason, it could be a hobby, it could be applying, a bit of health and fitness to yourself, cooking, then someone's going to lean in and be more interested, because it's honestly that role reversal. It's worked for me multiple times, and I suppose last year was quite an obvious one. I definitely was doing less in that weird situationship I had. I would wake up in the morning and I wasn't the one reaching for text messaging. Like, I didn't feel the need to initiate a conversation. They already were. I was taking the hugest step back into over-analyzing just what this looks like as a whole. And I think it became quite attractive to that person that I was just this shiny new object that had no care in the world, but I just was like, you know what? It's not the if you want me, you can have me theory, or the if you, there's that weird one at the moment that's like if they want to, they will. This is like if you take a step back and you watch them, I don't know, they want more. And I've seen multiple self-help books and things like that on the shelf. So it's pushed at the moment that we're in this really weird world where everything's tipped upside down and everyone's a bit on edge and tense. But if you just vibe in your own little world and do things that make you happy, you will attract the weirdest and interesting acquaintances. But also, I'm super excited for if people do this and seeing how things get attracted to them, because I have definitely not chased things for a long time. And I've been saying I don't chase, I attract. It's very obvious. Like, I don't know. And people know, just like the people that do know me think, oh gosh, she's crazy. She's got so much going on. She's got this, and it's interesting. And she's got a podcast. Well, no, I don't intentionally fill my day. I just don't tell a lot of people. And this is something I learned in the past 2 years. Don't give everything away. Leave something for the imagination so that people have something to talk about. But that's only because I'm single. So I don't have to overanalyze my relationship. I don't have to worry about what the person's thinking of me. It's just I do things for me. So if you're in a friendship or a relationship and you think, God, like I just don't know if this person likes me or anything like that, take a step back and actually do less for that friendship or that relationship and watch it flourish into something, because that person turns around and thinks, oh my gosh, you've stopped, being interested. No, that's not the case. But it is very interesting. It's an interesting concept. I just want to put it out there. I want everyone just to relax. Breathe, relax your jaw, throw your shoulders back, just see what happens, mate. Take the wheel. Part 2 is doing less in your career and money moves. Everyone's got a financial thing that they want to achieve. I get it. A side hustle. I've done all that, and I still am doing that. So why working smarter, not harder, isn't just a cute quote on the wall in someone's bloody toilet. I have the lazy girl approved strategy that actually got me over $100,000 last year in my side hustle alone. I want to say that obviously taking a step back in life and thinking, how can I get forward in a better position is the best transition you can make. Some people just feel like their 9 to 5 is the bell all and end all. And I have multiple people that I know that the 9 to 5 isn't what works for them, and they will have 3, 4, 5 jobs. My brain doesn't go there. Like, I just can't even comprehend that. For me, I have a really successful 9 to 5 and I'm quite proud of it. It's something I did not think I would come back to because I left it in Australia. And then I tried to do something at the airport in Queenstown, but COVID happened and planes weren't happening. So I took a step out of that role. However, it's just one of those things where that worked for me to take a step into the direction of what can I contribute to this world that's going to get me more money than sense. And I've talked about it previously, so I'm not going to go into it too much. But for me, it was digital marketing. I'm one of those people that I honestly think I take this skill from my mum. I'm quite a quick, literal typer. And I'm not so creative in that sense, but that's where a few other things come into hand. Whereas I just wrote a couple of books on how to make a podcast, how to do social media, just people to level up in their whole realm of, what they can do to do things better for their business. And quite frankly, I could do a whole lot more, let's be honest. But I don't want to have to go from my 9 to 5 to another job, which essentially might be computer-based, just because that seems to be the norm these days, of okay, that's going to be one computer to the next computer just to juggle having an actual job and a side hustle. So I took a step back and decided for me, I'm going to create a website. I'm going to create some digital books and I'm going to throw it out there into the universe. And I'm going to use Instagram to make reels to push those books to other parts of the world because of the algorithm. So it did. It literally went across the world, and it was weird because once I was in Sydney and Hawaii last year for my travel, I was pushing it again, and it went further, and all of a sudden my bank account just went, poof. So for me, I did a whole set and forget thing. And to this moment, it's still set and forget. It's one of those things where I built the website and I walked away from the website. It's there. I don't have to do too much. And also it's word of mouth. People visit the website, they buy things, they tell their friends, they buy things. It's the whole thing. I could do more because obviously social media has changed a lot, and my podcast book could do a revamp just because of how far we've come. Honestly, I feel like when I started and what I contributed to that book is just like, I don't think it should be $10. It should be $1.50. But anyway, this is how I managed to level up and take peace from doing less in my money moves. I do obviously have investments that I am learning about, obviously dividends and shares, and making my KiwiSaver, which is something we have that obviously we fall back on when we retire in New Zealand. But these are just baby steps, and sometimes it is quite overwhelming, so you don't want to just be plugging things all the time. And that's something I certainly don't do with my podcast, so why am I going to do it with my side hustle? It's done its own wealth itself, so I'm just keeping it very steady and quiet. So if you do want to reevaluate your career moves and you're looking for a bit of a direction, just let me know and I'll sort of fling some ideas your way. Honestly, my brain, I was only saying this to a couple of friends the other day, it's so full of ideas But it's like, it's quite frightening because you think, holy shit, I have to put these ideas out into the universe for it to happen, pay an investment, like go to the bank, build a bit of a repertoire, whatever. I literally did everything for myself without the need for that, but I still want to create a bar, and my brain just takes me to the fact that I want to own a bar. It's just something that's super exciting. So I do feel like once the house is built in Hanley, once I decide where I actually want to live, because that's bothering me at the moment, I want to do my solo adventure, and then I want to come back, and with all my stuff that I've still got going on financially, I want to apply myself to purchasing a site or a premise to build a bar. I need to. It's been weighing on my shoulders, and I don't know why I'm so scared about it. It's the funny thing was, I said to someone the other day, if you build a bar and you didn't want someone to come in because you hated them, can you tell them to leave? And they were saying, well, why would you want them to leave when they're essentially going to be paying your wages by drinking at your bar? I says, I don't want to give them the benefit of the doubt. They're not allowed in the premise. This is my premise. I don't want to look at their face while they're drinking cocktails. No. But anyway, someone turned around and says, mate, even if they moved the chair back and it scraped on the carpet or the tiles or whatever and made a bit of a damage or whatever, you'd block them from that. And I just laughed. I'm not being petty, but sometimes I just don't want people to succeed off the back of my coattails, I do life for me, for mum, for Tom, whatever, but it's not the success of others. It's just because I had an idea and I want to have fun with it. That's all it is. Part 3 of my podcast today is doing less for your own peace, because honestly, if it costs you your sanity, it's too bloody expensive. We're getting into some boundaries of the art of saying no, but I do have a bit of a formula for a bare minimum day that still feels very productive. And I am going to use the example of a weekend. I am lucky. I work from home, so my Monday to Friday can be odd jobs whilst I'm having a lunch break. And I do feel like that contributes to my success of having a bare minimum day, which subsequently is a Sunday. I can't see myself doing chores over the weekend. I'm super lucky in that retrospect that my weekend is mine. But I've also worked really hard for that. And I look at my mum, who she doesn't have that treat. She does work 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, but on the weekends she tries to catch up with things. I do obviously help with these types of chores and whatnot, but there are little things where I just think, no, I actually just want to enjoy my weekend. I don't want to do that right now. One of which right now is to paint our deck. Deck, D-E-K, for those Australians, not Dick. But it is an ongoing battle to learn how to treat the wood and clean the wood and then paint the bloody thing. And obviously we've just come through a massive summer here in Cromwell, 30 plus degrees. So it's not been ideal, and it's not a chore that I want to do. I'm not going to lie. So once I do start telling my people that obviously this is how I make things work, there's a sudden release. Like, you don't get the Sunday scaries. You haven't lost your weekend because of chores. You've been on top of it Monday to Friday. And yes, there is a big push. I've always talked about the maintenance shower and how that's quite important. I would say for myself, Mondays and Fridays are my busiest days. Tuesday's a little bit busy because I have to record my podcast and I take pride in that. So my brain just goes out the window because obviously I really just want to focus on that. Wednesdays are where I kind of surface, and Thursdays are probably where I get the wobbles and I think, oh my God, I'm just going to have a couple of wines. No, don't do that, because then all of a sudden it's Friday afternoon and you're only just feeling like you can function again. But yeah, Friday mornings crack me up. I've gotten into this habit lately where I go for my run. I come home, I put a hair mask in, I take my toenail polish off, I log into work, do a couple of things, have the best exfoliating shower of my life, come out with this super clean hair, paint my toenails, put the fake tan on, get ready to throw a couple of drinks in the fridge on my lunch break so that by the time I finish work, I've got a cheese board and a couple of drinks ready, and just start to wind down. Because honestly, doing less for anything but is, just so exciting, and it helps because you don't want to feel like you have to divide your weekend into enjoyment and chores. So if you can start adding little tiny things that help along the way, Monday to Friday, do it. Make that your push. It's exciting to get to a weekend and actually go away and not worry about something. I have friends that go away Friday lunchtime until Sunday evening, like 3 weekends a month. They will just literally hightail it somewhere, and I'm so jealous. But when you live somewhere like I do, it's quite difficult to leave. I struggle with it just because it's so beautiful. It's not the most entertaining of areas. That's why I want to bring a bar here. But when I do take a step back and look at the environment, and I actually opened the door to the courier this morning, and he was dropping off 2 boxes of wine. I was like, what is this? When did I order this? Oh yeah, that was like 2 weeks ago when I visited that winery. My bad. So yeah, it's just makes me feel really special and warms my heart. But I also have a lot of visitors coming in March, and I have to get the house ready. So there's a lot of that as well. And we're quietly packing because there's nothing better than organising this, that, and the other. And I've been organising the pantry. I couldn't believe I had like multiple packets of taco seasoning the other day. I was at the supermarket and I was like, man, I feel like something to do with Mexican food. And then I thought, have I got taco seasoning at home? I think I counted 13 half-open packets. So I turfed them all into a Tupperware container. And now I know in my brain that I have taco seasoning, so I don't have to buy any more of it. And it's just spices, so who cares? But no, that was one of those things where I thought, shit, got to sort out the pantry, because that's going to bring me peace, knowing that things have a little bit more structure. But also, yeah, I don't know what, the next couple of months looks like, whether I'm going to be staying here in Cromwell, going over to Hanley, packing everything up and going to Florida. Who knows? I'm just so excited to see what my next steps are. I just, can't even deal. Anyway, I will keep this short. I feel like I could just ramble on forever. You guys know that. So anyway, that's my episode. Remember, doing less isn't about giving up. It's about creating space for the good stuff to come in. More dates, more money, more peace, less chaos. That is the 2025 vibe. If you love this episode, share it with your Soft Life squad and leave a review on Spotify. It helps more than you know. Next time, keep it cozy, keep it cute, keep doing the least, but in the very best way possible. And don't do anything I wouldn't do, right? No, I'll see you next Tuesday for another episode of the Dani Dot Podcast. Bye.